Resolution 6A.
Item 6A is a resolution of the City of Margate, Florida, approving with conditions a temporary use permit for Hildebrand Amusement Rides, Inc. for permission to hold the fair at Margate at 1000 North State Road 7 from November 17th, 2023 through December 3rd, 2023, providing for an effective date. This resolution is before you for your consideration this evening.
What is the wish of the commission?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second for,
It's already seconded, okay.
Then
Do you want to start the conversation, Olene?
yeah, I just have a couple of questions because I saw under the staff comments part that there were things there that were not resolved, so I was wondering if they now were. Okay.
I believe their attorney.
Joshua Rydell, 111 Southwest 6th Street, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on behalf of Hildebrand, who's the applicant for the fair at Margate. We've been before you twice through the CRA process. We've answered some questions. We're here tonight before the commission. The two issues that we're seeking commission approval on are extension of the traditional time for the application period and extension of the hours of operation. This is the exact same request that we've come before you in a number of years. There's nothing different about it. And Commissioner Schwartz, to answer your question, and I know your project manager through development services here on the project, traditionally with an event like this, we always, when we come before you, have outstanding comments because food vendors, amusement ride vendors, those approvals are timed to happen once upon setup comes. So when Hildebrand is set up, whether for food vending, amusement rides, the state comes down, certifies and inspects all those rides, electricity, and everything. So those final approvals don't come literally towards the final comment. So really what we're asking is for approval of the hours extension, the days extension, and obviously everything for the city manager to have the final authority for those approvals that traditionally don't come.
Actually, what I was looking at had
Something
nothing,
else?
yeah, it simply said unresolved, clarity on plans, no permit documents have been attached, correct and resubmit with all documents. And then the other one, some of this I don't understand anyhow, says show traffic flow directions within the parking lot.
So I can tell you this, that we have the site plan that we've submitted. It was actually submitted very early on. It's always changing. We do have a site plan. I can tell you this week, Chief, last week, this week? Last week. I met with Mr. Bass, myself, and your chief and your upper level administration. We met, we talked about security. We talked about all these issues. This is always an ongoing thing continually. That we are always meeting with your staff to meet your staff requests, your staff code requirements, and things of that nature.
Would that then include where it said that the temporary use application was incomplete?
That's because I didn't check a box for city commission approval.
Shame on you.
That was me. That wasn't Mr. Best. That was me. That was one little check that you guys have changed in the past 3 years of going for hard submissions to half online submissions to full online submissions. I'm not as tech
We got
savvy
to
as I
keep
should
up
be.
with the millennials.
Yeah.
So
I
I
still
was
text with
just
two
looking
thumbs.
at, those were the things that, now, it said something about a 4-H tent, but I was under the impression that there weren't going to
So
be.
formally, your staff asked me to put on the record the two things that we're not having alcohol, and there's not going to be any animal acts. Just to be
That's why
clear.
I was asking.
Animal. Now there's an option. I mean, I don't know. You want to mention it? There's a national act. It's not. We're not going down that rabbit hole again. But I will tell you, there's a national act where they do pig racing. And I'm not trying to make a joke. I see Joanne shaking her head. These are certified acts that happen at county fairs. This act actually participates in over 30 state county fairs in Florida. It's a pig track. If you've ever been to the South Florida Fair in Palm Beach or you've been to the Dade County Fair, it's there. They've reached out to us. They're interested in participating. I'm telling you what they reached out. Obviously, we didn't submit for that. We didn't intend on it. It's something that came in the 11th hour. It's totally up to you guys. We'll do whatever. But I say that it's all extraordinarily.
Is there
humane.
anything riding the pigs or just the pigs themselves?
There's nothing riding the pigs.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Actually, I had no idea about that. I was just asking about the 4-H tent.
So
That was
no,
all.
but I say it because the two certifications that originally we had made to your staff was there was going to be no animals whatsoever, and there was going to be no alcohol. Those are two things in the permit process that we had been asked for. So those were no up until literally this week, where there was this pig racing concept. The vendor who plays all these acts reached out to us. So I'd be remiss. Mr. Bass didn't necessarily want me to talk about it tonight, but it's the will of the commission. We're here to obviously provide you what you'd like.
It's a real wanker.
I will honestly tell you that the tent that held the llama and the other things I thought was really cool because it was educational for the kids and the size of the heifer and the cow was like huge. So I was just curious about the 4-H.
If that is something you would like,
No, it's on your thing.
that is something that's an additional application. Your project director is here. We can do that. Mr. Bass literally will do anything that the will of this commission wants. I think he's made that very clear, whether it's security measures, fire safety measures, promoting Margate businesses and CRA businesses. I only bring up this act, for lack of a better term. I assure you it's completely humane, just like the other one. But again, I understand how hot topic it could be. So I'll defer to whatever the will of the commission is. Again, Commissioner Schwartz, if you'd like us to look into a 4-H tent, I'm happy to talk to Mr. Bast about that, and he's happy to provide that if that's the will of the commission.
Vice Mayor?
I think the 4-H tent's cool. I think the pig racing is really cool. You can get me a juggling monkey. I'd love it.
Oh, jeez.
But I'm all for the pig races. I have no problem with that. So I guess it's good that we're bringing it up. And
well, and obviously in the essence of always being open with your commission, and especially with what my client, who's obviously here as well, it's a priority to him to really be the best partner he can be with you.
good luck.
And Commissioner Schwartz, just to also address it, when we talk about the hours, I understand that's something traditionally that was an issue for you at the CRA meeting and your different capacity. I will just say this, and Mr. The reason the late hours are there, we're not letting people in that late. They're coming in and we're making sure they have time to, and again, if there's noise complaints or anything, he'll turn the music off. He's done everything. He's been, and I could say there's not when you look analytically at the noise violations and complaints, it's almost nil in the years that we've been here. And I think we probably have the best security concept that we've had in years, candidly, because your chief prioritizes this. And I think your security staff would agree, your chief, we will do whatever, and he knows it. And we had a really robust, fruitful meeting last week.
My only concern with the hours has always been that week when kids are back to school and people are back to work.
I understand.
And if we could, I recognize, and I will say this on the record, I happen to think the world of Mr. Bass because he's a really nice guy, and is his wife. And I recognize the fact that he has grown up in this industry and he truly loves what he does. And I recognize the fact that on other occasions, bad actors have done things that nobody could have prevented or foreseen. I was just looking for some kind of compromise from, let's say, during the weekdays when kids and everybody are back to school, because now Thanksgiving becomes a whole week. Mostly because the school system doesn't want to pay their teachers for holidays other than that one day. But if there was some kind of even half an hour compromise or something, so instead of midnight during the week that the kids go back, that it would be at 11:30. I get the fact that he can't sell a ticket at 11 o'clock and close at 12, because then that's a waste of the customer's money. I get that. I have no idea if the police chief has ever had noise complaints, because I've never asked him. So I don't have a clue.
The answer, I'll tell you, just because we've analytically ran this, it's no. Maybe one on a 21-day run.
But that has always been my particular issue, is just the fact that when you know,
again, I'm talking, we have history here. So we have a couple spring break fairs, we have a couple November fairs. So there's a lot of historical, you want to focus on the bad, you can always focus on the bad. When you look at it globally, we've morphed, changed, and engaged in the capacity that we're trying to be the best actors.
Oh, I know there are now metal detectors and fences and all those things which have kept people the last time without complaint and safe.
And candidly, we don't need to get in the business of it, but he's actually changing. So you're not going to have kids walking in for free causing trouble. We're changing the business model, which candidly could hurt Mr. Bast for drawing people, but it will guarantee people are there for the right reasons as opposed to the wrong reasons.
Commissioner Simone? Thank you. Right up.
Thank you. On staff comments, there's two things I'd like to address. They talked about on reference number 19, I believe it is, about a FDOT permit for the fence. And also that if there are going to be animals, which I am very much opposed to any animals, that there's an animal display permit that needs to be filed as well.
Absolutely. We actually have that permit. We've completed that for three of three fairs. We've completed that. We have it. We didn't intend to do it this year, but I did, in the essence of just transparency, bring it up to see what the will of the commission was regarding that. When you're talking about the FDOT permit, Commissioner Simone, the answer is this. This is actually the first year. It's a little strange sometimes how you're putting on the same event, the same time frame, the same issues, right? That some new hiccup comes up with an additional state agency. It's not surprising, but we've never had to do an FDOT issue before, and I'm thinking it's because of ease of access. We're doing it. The answer is we're doing it. Our fence permit company has already submitted it. It's in for approval. We've submitted that approval through staff, so we're working through that. We didn't know about that, and as soon as we were made aware of it, we're going to meet that requirement.
And I just have a comment, not to be answered, but a comment. We have code requirements. I'm looking at the resolution, and we are being asked to waive 6 items. So my question that I'm entertaining in my mind is, why do we even have code requirements if we're just waiving items? And this is as many as 6 items that we will be waiving for this fair. So why do we even have code requirements if we're going to do something like that? And that's all I have.
All right. Public. Okay, let's start off with the people that are on Zoom. The first one on Zoom.
Please, no fair. Tommy, no fair, please, please. You know me, I do not want it. I don't want it in the neighborhood, and I don't think that we should have it in there anymore. We've had enough incidents with it. We don't need any more. What is it gonna take? A fatality? Please, do not bring it back. Thank you, and you all have a good night.
Margate resident. I'm not going to speak to the negative things these carnivals have brought to our city in the past. By now, you've heard it several times, but I will speak to your legal obligations as elected officials. Just because the CRA board, comprised of all 5 commissioners, did not follow its own policy to close-in times at the August 24th CRA meeting, without regard to the city's TUP requirements of a 10 p.m. closing time, does not mean you have to agree to the same times as the CRA. The CRA not only violated its policy that restricts use of the CRA property to Margate-based sponsors, the justified good cause to extend times was because that's when the fair operator makes their money. The CRA put profits for
The CRA reserves the right by majority to extend the times of approval events for good cause. So what is being considered good cause?
I think that's in the,
I think it was-
eye of the fair holder or the
We
participant.
explained last time that that's where the revenue is, but that, after a certain time, they break even, and after that,
Right.
it's profit for the evening, so it was a matter of making it worth their while. Remember, they are
A business.
paying a large amount of money to the city, the CRA, for the police, the fire.
No,
Okay.
I'm with you.
Business,
I'm with
They
you.
are trying to make money.
The CRA put profits for an out-of-town business over public safety for Margate residents and guests. You don't have to, because you're bound by oath to faithfully carry out your duties and city ordinances. In section 3.24 of temporary use permits, subsection C, maximum time limit, paragraph 4, TUP events shall not be longer than 21 consecutive days. This request is for 31 days. Up to 15 days to hold an event. This request is for 17. And may utilize 3 days for setup and 3 days tear down. This request is for 7 days for each. Paragraph 5, as an exception, the Development Service Department may grant an extension of no more than 7 days for unforeseen circumstances, such as natural disturbances, but not including economic hardships. City ordinance does not give the authority to the commission to grant duration extensions. To this point, you haven't been influenced by residents, your constituents, and it's appeared that you're more easily influenced by campaign contributions, by petitioners that come before you, as we've seen countless times, and as we see before us tonight, where max contributions have been made to several of you. I request the following commissioners abstain from voting on this item due to a conflict in receiving contributions from the applicant: Mayor Caggiano, $1,000, April 5th, 2023. Commissioner Schwartz, $1,000, April 11th, 2023. Commissioner Arcerio, $1,000 in December 4th, 2021, plus $2,500 to a PAC that shares the same PO box as the commissioner's past campaign accounts. If you choose to vote, the only vote that is legal is no. A yes vote will violate city ordinance. Your votes will be unlawful, and you're not above the law. You'll be in violation of the oath that you sworn to uphold.
20 seconds.
And you can expect
20 seconds.
You can expect to face repercussions, just as any other member of society who will violate law out in the open. Thank you.
Margate resident. I want to express my opposition to the fair that is happening again in the city of Margate. I was trying to look at the background for a couple of days before the meeting, and it wasn't there until this morning. And I tried to catch up with everything that I wanted to see, and I couldn't because the time was the limit of the time. I'm not opposed to the fair, I would say. I'm opposed to the fair with the changes that the commissioners have approved. I'm opposed to giving the codes, for not going by the codes, for not adhering to the rules that everybody else has to, and for the CRA to approve the extra hours, all the other things, all the things that have been approved. I think that the kids love the fair, and I think it would be nice, but there has to be, we all have to, if we all have to go by rules, everybody has to go by rules. And that's the part that I am, that I don't like. And I think that is an extra burden on our police department for the time that they are giving and the what they are exposing themselves to with the fair. It's not fair to them, it's not fair to the family, and especially during this time that is, you're going to have Thanksgiving and everything there. It's wrong. I think it is something that shouldn't be done. I think you have heard many residents say that they don't want the fair, but you have approved it and you have increased the hours and the days. It doesn't matter what we say, and that is the saddest part, that residents that come and speak about it are not listened to, and you just go by what you want to do. And maybe one last thing is that maybe Mr. Rydell could try to do the fair next time in Coral Springs. Beautiful Coral Springs is a beautiful city, and I am sure that the commissioners there will go by it. Thank you.
Okay. Please call the roll. Oh, hold on, we have,
Sorry,
go ahead, Arlene. I'm sorry, Arlene, go ahead. You want to say something too? Okay.
I'll let him.
so with respect to any display of animals for entertainment purposes, you have a provision, section 6-24, your city code, that contains certain requirements and conditions that the applicant would need to comply with. So if that is something that you would like to see or would like to permit at the fair, then you need to amend the resolution to require that the applicant meet all the requirements of section 6-24 of the city code with respect to any animal entertainment, whether it's a 4-H tent or any other form of animal entertainment. Thank you.
So do we do that each time? Because there's been animals each tent.
Well, yeah.
No, I was just asking.
No, the ordinance was adopted 2 years ago, and I don't think there was anything last year.
Welcome back to Martha's Carnival Channel, and today we're at the fair at Margate. Heading to over there toward the back of the brand rides. Here we have some animals for feeding and petting.
So if they're going to do it, they need to meet the requirements of that newly adopted section.
So normally we would have put it in the initial application. We did not this time around. So we normally would put it in a CRA request. We would put it in a city commission request. that your ordinance changed. I believe Commissioner Simone spearheaded it, one where you have veterinarians involved in the ordinance and things of that nature. Obviously, we'd meet the requirements. I bring it up now because it's something, if the answer is no, we're not doing it. If the answer is yes, we'll follow your code and we'll do it. So I believe someone would have to make a motion to amend.
We have a motion to amend. Do we have a second?
I didn't even hear that.
Second.
Right.
All right.
So that's,
I'll make the motion to amend it.
okay, and so the motion to amend is to include a provision related to animal entertainment and the requirement that the applicant comply with section 6-24 of the city code of ordinances.
Correct.
Are you going to limit what you consider to be animal entertainment?
In terms of
Well, in terms
did.
of the four,
Yeah, we did.
4-H, and then just the pig race.
I'm saying we already.
No, there's no
Yeah,
juggling.
we already did.
So is that part, so that's part of the amendment?
Yeah.
It's to limit it to 4-H, tent, and pig races.
Yes and no.
No juggling
I-
monkey.
Well, it's, you know, if you just want to say animal entertainment, then, you know.
You have anything else that you're going to propose? Any last second stunts?
No,
This is your opportunity. This is it.
a lot of puns in this meeting. The answer is no. The answer is,
Okay.
through talking to my client, those were the only two things that we weren't going to do. We're talking only a 4-H tent, as Commissioner Schwartz saw reflected on things of that nature, and we'd be
So let's-
talking about this pig. We'll call it entertainment, but it is
Yeah.
well established. If you've gone to any other county fair, you've seen it.
All right, so let's limit it to that.
so then don't go anywhere. In all due respect, if a pig decides that it doesn't want to run, how do you make it do so? Because I don't want Peter standing in front of me telling us we're beating
So
a
I will
pig.
tell you this from personal experience, and I probably have a video somewhere on my phone. At the South Florida Fair, for example, these are some of the most well cared for pigs that run around a little track for treats and things of that nature. And I think one of the pigs loves Oreos. I'm being honest. You know.
Loves what?
Oreos, fried probably.
There's a lot of pigs that love Oreos.
If it were up to me, I would just simply limit it to the tent with the 4-H animals as opposed to a pig race. Be careful what you ask for.
I'll leave it at the pig race and the
And the 4-H.
4-H.
You're leaving it that way?
Yep, and I'll second that.
Okay.
So say vote on the amendment?
Vote on your
Please call the
amendment,
roll.
and then I'll make my comment that I was going to make before.
Commissioner Serio,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rosano,
Yes.
Mayor Caggiano,
I think it'll be a squeaker. Yeah, let's do it.
Commissioner Schwartz,
I'd love the tent, but not interested in watching the pigs run, no.
Commissioner Simone.
No.
Okay.
So the resolution is amended to include the provision related to compliance with section 6-24 of the city code if the applicant is going to provide either the 4-H tent or the pig race.
Okay, and then now let's call the roll on.
Now I have a
amended.
comment.
Oh, now you want to comment?
Now I have, that's just,
Okay, go
I
ahead.
want to make a statement because the comment was made, and normally I wouldn't address this. I have never voted to allow the fair because of the hours. So speaking about whether or not I got a contribution, having voted against something makes zero sense. And so.
He didn't check the votes, so.
Regardless. Now, because I have heard the police departments, and it won't matter, it's going to pass anyway, regardless of what my vote is. I mean, I can count. But because the police department has told me that they have not gotten calls about noise and stuff like that, then I'm not sure that me voting against it makes any sense if it's never been a problem to people. I assumed it would be. But, you know, pointing to one, especially about me, who Mr. Bass will tell you, has never voted for this. It's what we call non sequitur. It doesn't follow.
All right,
That's
please,
all I wanted to say.
please call the roll.
Commissioner Serio,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rosano,
Yes.
Mayor Caggiano,
Good luck, yes.
Commissioner Schwartz,
I'm assuming this is probably one of the last times you're going to be able to hold this on this property. And since the police have not had a problem, I'll give you my yes.
Commissioner Simone.
No.
Okay,
All right, so the amended resolution is approved.
Imagine if Ronway's Rosano, Caggiano, Schwartz.
Yeah, Schwartz, I know. Sounds like an accounting firm.
It sounds like the
Or
mob,
lawyers.
the mob and their lawyer.
And the lawyer, that's exactly right. The mob and their lawyer, you're exactly right.